Okay, Jacob, we're gonna look at your stroke. Um, and this on in Premiere Pro, so that's why this kind of looks whack. But anyway, okay, first thing I want you to look at. Oh, right, before we do this, I'm gonna compare your stroke to my stroke. Um, Not that my stroke is perfect, just so you can see the kind of the difference. Okay, so first thing, watch at the front here. Watch where you bury. Okay, so you reach here, right? So that's a nice long reach. But then when you enter, you're not fully buried until right there. So you're probably getting power here, which is already further back, like pretty significantly further back from here. But you're getting power there, but then you're not getting full power, not fully buried until there, right? So, I mean, you went from here, or sorry, from here back to here before you even got power. Um, so you kind of have two options. One, you can just get the paddle in quicker, and try to get it all the way in here. Yeah, here, maybe here. So instead of reaching like, so you want to be going into the water here and then have your paddle fully buried maybe there or there. Um, and that's just, you might need to watch on your recovery. Maybe break that top arm a little bit, let it come in a little bit more so that you can keep your blade. It's already quite low, but a little bit more flat to the water so that you can get it in sooner. Your other option is to kind of just reach to right here only, um, and just have this be your catch point. Um, and then you'll have a shorter stroke, but if you're only reaching to here, I mean, your paddle's probably looks like it's almost all the way in the water there. Um, so then you won't have, you'll be buried faster, and then you'll have more time to apply power to the stroke. Yeah, okay. And then, so I want to show you mine. So watch. Hold on, let me skip to the part where I come across eventually. Okay, so ignore that draw stroke. Okay, so watch here on my recovery, or sorry, on my entry. So I'm reaching to almost the same point as you, I think, going into the water. Okay, but you see, I'm almost buried there, and then all the way buried maybe there. You see how it just took me so much less time to go from there out of the water and then into the water. And this is a much more positive, I still have a quite a large positive angle on the stroke. Um, Whereas if we go back to you, you can see, uh, once you're in, you're already pretty negative. You've already pulled quite a bit. So I want you to work on, yeah, getting that blade in sooner. Um, like I said, either just trying to literally bury it quicker or not reaching quite as far. But I think in either option, you're gonna have to do a little bit of work to just try to move your hands faster down into the water because you want to be getting full. You want to be halfway buried, at least like pretty quickly because then you can actually start, moving yourself forward, um, and then all the way buried with a positive angle. Okay, and then the other thing, let me check something really quick. Okay. Get some more length on that pole too. You're coming out, so if you're already only like buried here, you gotta at the very least pull further back for sure. If you look at mine, watch where the blade ends up. It's like all the way back behind my hips. So if you're kind of coming out here, I'm getting all that distance, that power still from here back to there, so that's quite a bit of extra power that you could be getting just by trying to pull longer. Okay. Then the other thing I want you to look at, your hips are moving. Okay. Um, you can definitely get more movement out of them if you look at them. So let me go here. Okay, so starting there and going, I'm looking at your outside hip right now and your inside one, but mostly your outside one. Okay, so starting there and then only really moving to there. It kind of stops moving there. Um, you can get so much more. There's a whole range of motion in your hips here, both forward and backwards, that you could be getting out of these. Um, which is just going to be extra power. So let me show you mine. Okay, so um, here, even just look at that. So my outside hip is cocked pretty much all the way back. It's damn near straight. Um, and then you're gonna see. So outside hip. So outside hip starts moving, and then my inside hip is now going back. Um, moving. Okay. Now once I'm here, they're kind of done rotating. Hold on, let me get to stroke where I'm not. Okay. So once I get there, they're done rotating. But now you see, watch my upper body. This is what I've been talking about with the throwing your hips forward, like you're on a rowing school sled. So they're done rotating, and now you watch. I'm gonna lean back and try to shoot my hips forward. This motion right here. Watch my upper body. You can't necessarily really see it in my hips, um, but it is moving them forward. You just can't really tell from this camera angle. So okay, so rotation is done. Now I'm gonna shoot them forward right there. That motion. I'm not like sitting up and back. I'm still keeping my body low, but I'm also moving my hips forward. I'm kind of like flinging them. Um, and you want to be careful when you start to do this. If you decide to start doing this, watch that you don't do it so rough and like quickly that it makes your boat bouncy. But then also one other thing, I want you to work on the reverse hips. It looks like you're doing it actually a little bit there, like you're pushing back with your inside hip instead of just leaving it there and then letting your outside hip do all the work. So that's good. But yeah, I think mostly for you, you can just get a wider range of motion, and then that part at the back here, you just start your recovery. I want you to try going from here and then sitting up a little bit and kind of pulling your hips forward, flinging them forward. It almost feels like it almost kind of feels like doing a sit up is how I would describe it. So yeah, once you're here, try to move your hips forward, just engage your core and kind of throw them forward this way. Um, and I think that'll help you increase your stroke length and then also your power. You'll just get more power. Um, but then, yeah, I would like to see your hips move more as well. Um, other than that, I think start with those two things, and then we'll see what happens to your stroke, and then we can go from there.